welcome to In the Rising podcast. My name is Bettina Brown, and this is the platform I've chosen to talk about living a life that's in alignment with your hopes, your dreams, your goal, in safety, walking away from shame and blame, guilt, trauma that only pulls you down. So my guest today is Sabrina Osso, and she reveals how she is taking steps forward, pioneering in the field of real estate to make homes safer, one family member at a time, one child at a time. Welcome, Sabrina, to my podcast for In the Rising. I am really honored by the time you're spending, and especially about the topic that we're talking about today is a topic that is kind of in the back pocket, kind of hidden from view, and even hidden from thought a lot of times. And so you are really big on helping people feel safe in their work life, their, and their homes as well, schools, place of residence. And you're really making an impact in your specific area and looking to expand. Can you kind of say in your own words what project you're working on for the listeners?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Bettina. I really appreciate the opportunity. I just wanted to say, we focus on real estate, on places of residence, because what we say at Osso Safe, if your homes are safe, then everything else falls into place. Schools will be safe, universities, workplaces, public places. It all starts in the home. So we focus on where we combine education and technology to promote safety and prevent violence. So the core product that we are putting out there is the Home Sweet Home package, the Osso Safe Home Sweet Home package, and it will deem your property Osso Safe certified. What does that mean? We're saying, and right now we are focusing on the landlord tenant portion of the real estate industry. We want this to propagate over all residency, essentially, but we're starting with landlords and tenants because that would be the path of least resistance. And we're saying, look, Mr. and Miss Landlord, hire us, Osso Safe. We will get all of your tenants educated, whether they're going through violence or not. It's irrelevant. This is on the preventative side versus waiting for an episode of violence to occur, because at that point, it's too late almost. It's the damage is done and too many people are hurt. So we're saying hire us. We have a policy that everyone signs, and it basically states if you act abusively, verbally, physically, sexually, or any combination, you, the abuser only, gets immediately evicted from the premises. And we go into full knowledge knowing that that would be the consequences in an Osso Safe certified property. We educate all of the tenants. We have technology to eliminate the he said, she said factor. Although that technology right now is being updated, it's my app, the Osso Safe app, and it would be installed in the common areas right now of a unit, if you will. Then we have therapists assigned to the property. So it's kind of like part of your residency now, where tenants are required to check in with their therapist once a month. Is everything okay? Do you feel like something is looming? Do you feel like, oh, there may be an episode of violence or abuse that is going to occur? And the tenant could say, well, actually, one of our children came home with bad grades. We know we're not going to beat them. We're not going to verbally disparage them, but we need help. So we go in with extra therapy, if you will, at that point, or where it's like a sliding scale where instead of once a month, they do therapy twice a week. Twice a month, whatever is needed, whatever is comfortable for the tenant and the therapist. And then we have, so that's basically the core portion of the Home Sweet Home package. And this is all on the preventative side, if you will, versus waiting for something to occur. And then it's too late and everybody gets educated, adults, children, seniors, everybody, every single unit, all of the people in that unit. So I hope I answered your question as far as what our main focus is at Osso Safe.
Yes, you did. You definitely did. And it sounds like you're putting in, like you said, a lot of preventative and a lot of information ahead of time, because when I have these conversations with different people, a lot of them say that they had no idea they were in an abusive relationship because you're so close. It's one thing when you're being beaten up, that's kind of obvious, but seeing, all these isolating you and moving you away from your friends and family is some sort of it is psychological. That having that conversation ahead of time may at least spark something in that tenant and those children a lot sooner in the process. So it's preventing generations.
Right. Yes. We go over warning signs, facts, statistics, the definitions of abuse, what constitutes an abusive relationship versus a good relationship, a safe relationship, a healthy relationship. We go over the difference between abuse and discipline, which is a big one for parents. Like a lot of parents, abusive parents will say, well, I'm disciplining my kid. No, you're not. If you are punishing your child, you are giving age disproportionate chores to your child. If your child fears you, if the child is negative on themselves and other people, you're not disciplining them, you are abusing them. So we go over all of these scenarios in depth in our seminars, because that way, as you said, Bettina, in a way, there's like no excuse, like, oh, I didn't know that pulling hair constitutes abuse, or calling my wife or my girlfriend a bitch, a slut, a whore, a tramp, a sleaze, a floozy, a bimbo, a thought, a skank, abuse. It is. So now you know. And this is a practice. We say that it's not just one and done. This is a practice every single day, especially if you come from abuse. It's very easy to fall into that trap and continue and perpetuate those abusive relationships. So we're saying, look, this has to be on the forefront of your mind, that you deserve to be in a good relationship. And what constitutes a good relationship? These are all aspects that we go over in the seminar, in the policy. The technology reinforces the education, and the education reinforces the technology. And this is extremely beneficial for children, because you set the example as a parent. If you are demonstrating good behaviors, safe behaviors, where you exercise freedom and safety and respect in your household, well, that child will repeat that. So that child will say, wow, I'm not when I am of dating age, I know what constitutes safety, what constitutes a safe environment, a safe relationship, a good relationship. So that way we're not making future victims and future abusers, because as you know, we don't need more of that.
No.
So yes, just to echo what you said.
Yeah. And I'm in the healthcare field. And whenever someone comes in, either for like an outpatient basis or in the emergency department, one of the questions is, do you feel safe at home? And I've always wondered, well, if you don't, well, what happens? And I know they have their social workers and stuff, but how many times do we ask this question in front of someone else? Right. And we know better, but we can't say, hey, excuse me, leave, or we can, but we don't. It is something really quick. And, I can say I've been guilty myself. Do you feel guilty in the home? But I can immediately tell who does and doesn't if it's in a more severe case. You cannot get to them alone. And I think so, starting in the home as a landlord and tenants, you see each other, you start to see things that the person themselves may not be able to voice or feel safe to voice.
Right. Especially when it comes to children. And in an Osso Safe certified property, what we are proposing or as a requirement, because see, a lot of it has to do with education and getting people to think differently about residency, where now safety is a required standard condition of residency. You don't get to beat the crap out of everybody in your place of residence. You don't verbally, physically, sexually abuse anyone in your household. Now safety becomes a required standard condition of residency. And we're saying, look, children need to have agency over their lives much sooner than 18 years old. Because quite frankly, at 18, it's way too late. Because children know when they feel safe. They know if mom or dad or mom and dad hurt them and they're being told that they're a brat, a monster, a prissy little bitch, you're ungrateful, you're a baby, you're nothing. That children know when they feel safe and when they feel respected. So we are proposing, there are 3 levels to the certification. In the first level, we find out with the assistance of therapists, we ask children and we get them in a classroom and we say to them, who do you feel safe with if it's not mom or dad? And we give them the freedom to say, look, if it's not mom and dad, who is it? Maybe there's a close family friend, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent. And they could say it or not say it. If they say it, though, we jot that name down and we do our own research and we contact that person. Because I have to, and I'm sure you know this, Bettina, abusers are never quiet. They are never introverts. They may appear to be at first, they put their poker face on and they, I'm a good parent. Everything is okay here. It's my child's fault. And as days go by in the residence, weeks go by, episodes happen, either verbal, physical, sexual abuse. And actually abusers, they love an audience. I know, I speak from personal experience. My father, he loved an audience. He appeared to be quiet, but any opportunity he would show, I'm the ruler, I dominate. So it's kind of like a high for them, like almost like I hate to say it, but they get aroused by it in some capacity, either verbal, physical, sexual abuse, or a combination of all 3. So what we're saying is that child, whoever they name, that they feel safe with, we are proposing an also safe adoption. If both parents are abusive, it's like an express also safe adoption. You get to go to where you are safe, because in an also safe certified property, you are held to a higher regard, a higher standard. If you act in any way, shape, or form abusively, you, the abuser, only gets evicted. So then the child is left with the non-abusive parent. But what if that parent is also abusive? Well, that child has the option of, as long as they are 6 years old, around that age group, they can say, I feel safe with aunt and uncle so-and-so. It's a much better approach. I know it's very progressive, very avant-garde, very, wait a minute, Sabrina, you're taking the child away from the parents. But we're saying, look, they're abusive parents and you have no need for courts, because quite frankly, and I'm speaking from personal and professional experience, the courts, the laws, the judges, they make matters so much worse for the child. You don't need that in an also safe certified property. It eliminates all of these people, all of these professionals, quote unquote, from the lawyers, expensive lawyers, mediators, parent coordinators, child protective service agencies, and ultimately the judges. And I say this in my TEDx talk, the system emboldens abusive parents and fail child victims over and over again. You have no need for all of that. And everything that we do at Oh So Safe, we work with a small team of lawyers, and I have one lawyer on my team. She specializes in family law, in divorce. And she said, wow, Sabrina, your also safe certifications, you are short circuiting the entire process in a good way, in a beneficial way. So this is what we are introducing into the real estate industry. Why wait for the child to turn 18? Because quite frankly, Bettina, they will turn to drugs, alcohol, self-harm. They will get involved with the wrong people, and ultimately they may commit suicide. Why? Why wait till they're 18 when they know what who makes them feel good, who makes them feel safe? So why not nip it in the bud? And if the person is willing to take them in, to the exclusion of both parents, yes, the abusive parents will still stay in the picture, only though via phone call. But you're not going to subject your child in this residency to abuse them any longer. We nip it right in the bud. So this is what we are introducing into the real estate industry. And I also started something called Osso Safe Kids. And I'm speaking directly to abused kids. It's a YouTube. I'm just putting it out on YouTube. And I wish I had this growing up, because I am a survivor of violence. My father beat my mother on a regular basis. I'm speaking directly to all children, but specifically abused kids. And I'm giving them suggestions, and I'm saying to them, make your voices heard. There are 15 million of you abused children in the US alone, and these are just the ones that are documented. And I'm saying, make your voices heard. Make your sign. Just take a piece of paper and write Osso Safe, hold it up during lunchtime, before school, after school. Team up with any of your friends that are in safe environments, and say this cheer: I want to live where I am Osso Safe, and I am Osso Safe at so-and-so's house. Make your voices heard. I know it's scary, but it's all we have, kids. This is what I'm starting. I think I put out about 12 videos, and I'm hoping it just gives them a voice where they have power. And I'm saying to them, look, there's 15 million of you, and I know it's scary, but if you team up with someone that is supportive of you, where you can ask in the middle of school, during your school day, are you also safe at home? Are you also safe at home? If you're not, that's okay. Hug it out. Make your sign and make your voices heard. This is what I'm starting. And I'm just giving tips like meditate, breathe. It's not your fault. Mommy and daddy need help. Drink your water. Just things like that. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No,
Yes.
I mean, this is all very important and good information. And there are two tangents I absolutely want to touch upon with this program, this Home Sweet Home program. How receptive are the landlords right now to this program for them? Do they feel like this will cause them more issues with certain tenants, or, where are they in that?
Good question. This is new. The Home Sweet Home package, the certifications, everything that I'm introducing. We are speaking to insurance companies where the landlords get rewarded financially, because let's face it, money talks across the board, and that's fine. Landlords should, or property owners, I should say, they should be rewarded because they're keeping their tenants safe beyond the heat, hot water, electricity, central air, window guards. So we are speaking to insurance companies to say, look, let's get a rider in insurance policies where I could shop this to landlords to say, look, if you get your properties also safe certified, your insurance rates will go down and your property values will go up, because you are actually taking steps to keep your tenants safe. in terms of non-violence, non-abuse, non-chaos, non-dysfunction, substituting freedom and respect and patience, understanding, empowerment, encouragement. So that way it's a financial incentive for landlords. And we want this to propagate over all residency. So this is what we're working on. And I'm getting actually some pretty good positive feedback, especially insurance companies like, wow, this is a market and you're the solution. Like, you are presenting the solution, because insurance companies, they want to have very little claims, but they want the business. So, and they're saying, wow, this is great that you developed this, because we can encourage this in and offer this as, you know, how in your insurance policies, they cover fire, burglary, damage to property. Well, now we're saying at Also Safe, and we're speaking to insurance companies, home violence. Get that as a clause, as a rider. And I have landlords that I am approaching already to say, look, your insurance premium, it's an incentive, a financial incentive, and it's fine. And I'm hoping that I know, Bettina, that this will catch on. Like, I know I used to be a renter. Like, my logo would go outside of the property, so that way any pedestrian or vehicle traffic, they're driving or walking, like, wow, I know what that logo means. They're home violence conscious. If anything happens, they have the mechanisms and systems in place to nip it right in the bud. What if you're you're single and you live in one of the properties? You're single, you come from a safe family, but you start dating someone that, oh, wow, he or she is isolating me. I can't wear what I used to wear. They want to control my money. Wow, I'm 6 months into this relationship. I gotta get rid of him or her. You know, now you know what the warning signs are. This is all preventative. And let's say you do get involved with this person. Well, we have the technology to detect the violence, and we have mechanisms where, look, you got to go. Let's say you get in, you're in a living situation with this person. You sign a lease. Well, he's got to go, and you are protected. You know better. You feel safe. So the logos is speaking volumes to anyone looking to live in a place that is home violence conscious. And it goes beyond, like, as I mentioned, the heat, hot water, electricity, central air. Those are all secondary to safety when it comes to nonviolence. So we are covering all the bases. And like I said, on a financial standpoint, for a landlord, it would be beneficial for him or her or they to say, wow, if my insurance premiums will go down, why not? This is, and it makes for a more attractive lease versus a property that is not Also Safe certified. So so I hope I answered the question.
It did. And because in that moment, it's easier to be morally in line with something when you financially get it, right? Because you are the property manager, and on the point of having a property is to also bring in some income, and that's at the end of the day, their business also, right? And you said you've had this experience as a child going through it. You can hear the passion. You can also hear the experience. It's one thing to hear the words, but you can actually feel, and it resonates out of you. It's coming out of your pores. Just how important this is, especially to begin changing. Where do you see your program, or you specifically, rising up to in the future? What are your goals?
I want I should say, we want every single property also safe certified, period, over and out, whether you rent, whether you own, whether you have a mortgage or not, whether you live in a townhouse, a co-op, a condo, a single family home, a multifamily dwelling, a two-family home, a villa, a mansion, a mobile home. It's not going to matter. We see, I'm also a real estate agent, so I see the real estate agents instrumental in this equation because we are always in front of buyers, sellers, renters, landlords, property managers, and they could be potential abusers, victims. So to make this part of when you buy, before buying a house or selling a house, everybody gets also safe certified. I see this as in schools. In order to register your child for school, are they also safe certified? Is your child in an also safe certified property? Because that way school shootings will go down. Because if you trace back all school shooters, their home environment, it's violent, it's abusive, it's bullying, it's chaotic. That's where it starts. In the workplace, I mean, we focus on those three markets mainly: homes, residences, workplaces, and schools. I see this also in hospitals when you're about to deliver. Where's mom and dad? Well, before we give you this baby, you got to be also safe certified, because otherwise, quite frankly, what is the point? You give birth, and if you are not practicing safety, if you're not being educated and having kind of like a where you sign the dotted line, I promise to not abuse this child, I promise not to be violent, chaotic, dysfunctional. What is the point of sending that baby home if that baby is going to turn out to be 2-year-old Kira Franchetti, 3-year-old Bella Bond, 6-year-old Zymir Perkins, 7-year-old Nix Mary Brown, all of them murdered at the hands of an abusive parent under the watch of a so-called child protective service agency. What was the point? Wouldn't it have been better if that child went to a family member that was willing to take them in and raise them and raise them with love and understanding and patience and positivity and empowerment and encouragement and respect? So the vision that we have for Oso Safe is that first, for sure, that this is national, but that it goes global. Yeah, I hope I answered the question,
Oh, you
Bettina.
did.
This is
Yeah.
what we see, and safety has to become a required standard condition of residency, period, over and out. When you sign that dotted line, when you're buying, selling property, renting, you're getting also safe certified. Otherwise, the keys will not be released.
Mm-hmm. And I think, these are the same sort of safety factors as you have to know that a red light means stop. It's not about what you feel like, this is abandoned, you're infringing on my rights. This is part of living in a society. We hold you accountable for safety, physical safety, for a community, and that includes in the home as well, and so I really do applaud everything you've done. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of passion. You have an outstanding team. What are I will post it in my description, but why don't you go ahead and review how someone can learn more about you and connect with you?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for your positive feedback. I greatly appreciate it. My website is ososafe.com. My direct email is sabrina@ososafe.com. I'm on all the major social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Alignable, Instagram. My YouTube is, you could just YouTube Sabrina Osso or Osso Safe Kids, where my videos are specifically for kids, especially abused kids, but all children. And as I say, all of you kids are Osso Safe kids, abused, non-abused. We see it as all kids are Osso Safe. And and to book us for any speaking engagements, seminars, or workshops, that's all on my website. We have like a book now tab, and that would be the best way, really. And my TEDx talk is out there as well. It's broadcast. So
Yep.
thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to put all of those things so they're easy links to follow, but some of us are auditory and some of us are visual.
Sure.
And so I want to have every way possible. I know that you're just doing fantastic things, changing a life at a time, and congratulations to you and your team, and have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you, Bettina. Likewise. Thank you so much.
So this was a very powerful podcast that Sabrina Osso just revealed so many names that their whole life could be changed. The scope of our entire landscape in the United States, if these children were able to live past the domestic violence. This is something that is unfortunately constantly in the news because it is something that is constantly happening. Millions and millions and millions of children and people are in these situations of domestic violence at home, emotional, physical, psychological. I encourage you to look out. There are crisis centers. Get all the information you can. The more you know, the less isolated you are. Even if it's in secret for a while, will help you get past this. So I encourage you, and I thank you for your time, especially with this podcast today. If you feel that someone would benefit from it, I ask you to go ahead and forward this on and make it relevant. Also, leave a 5-star review. It does so much to help promote the mission of people like Sabrina Osso, as well as my podcast, to be in the hands and ears of those that need it most. And until next time, let's keep building one another up.